It seems you've misinformed me. Is the first thing I say telepathically.
About what, novitiate?
It seems I am not the first lizard folk to have joined, or to be a judge.
Are you questioning a god?
I'm questioning why you've left out this detail. Not your power.
Why don't you sign your name, and I'll show you. Welcome back to Wicked Initiative, everybody. It's time to start our next session. The party was leaving Port Vischer in our previous episode. You guys had started your journey into the Black Tusk Savannah. You traveled a couple of hours, 4 or 5 hours in the heat, sort of scouting around for any kind of boar or wildlife tracks and things to hopefully guide you to this large dire boar that you had heard of called Ironhide. Along the way, you found one that crested over the hill. You found a couple of smaller boar in which you guys had combat, and during this combat, a surprise ambusher came out from the ground, a large savanna spider, and attempted to take you under. You guys managed to keep Zarzros just barely alive as he was being taken down. Auragar, I think at one point, was also under attack from the spider, but managed to get away. You guys slaughter the rest of the boar, the spider escapes, and you spend the rest of the afternoon sort of picking up the scraps, taking off the tusks, putting them on your cart. I think Bosco was, he sort of, what's the word, skinned a boar hide to sort of make like a cover for the cart, which you guys fashioned roughly. So now the cart has cover as well for anyone in there. As you guys continue to journey on, Cedric casted Zone of Truth, in which you guys found out that he was not a genie, along with a bunch of other stuff. As you guys continue on, Gax is looking for the bloom, the wild bloom flower that he was searching for the cure, and you guys came up to a bunch of kind of jagged rocks that created kind of like a small circle of space for you guys to sort of lay down and put your bedrolls out and get ready for the night. However, Auragar at the end of our session sort of went out on his own a little bit towards the edge of the group, and looking out over the rest of the savannah, you notice some interesting pieces of land that just seemed out of place. You spoke to Lendis, had a couple of pulling questions, to which you were left with more questions than answers. It's at this point that we'll begin. You guys can see the stars in the sky as the quietness of the savannah starts to take over. You hear the crickets here and there, the distant crackle behind you, Auragar, of the magical fire that Gax had started. So yeah, I'd like to ask, what's everyone doing? The temperature has gone down. It's not as hot anymore. You feel like the coolness in all of those creases, your knees, your armpits, all of that as the cool air starts to like settle down for the evening.
You know, I've been thinking about that immortal we saw on the savannah earlier today. Why are they not helping Port Fisher? Why are they not taking care of this direboard? They're clearly on patrol or something in the area. But they're not sending any aid.
I'm not from around here, but the way you made it sound is that this seems like it's below their pay grade, let's say.
Most likely.
I would agree.
I guess that makes sense. Still, isn't it their job to protect all those in Agaros?
If I recall, they're supposed to be the last line of defense.
Does that mean that there's something worse out here?
That's a good question.
I think it's more it hasn't gotten to the point where they need to step in. I'd say they're more concerned about our surroundings, as in like other places around Agaros instead.
Could be. Was just thinking about it.
Without knowing how their structure works, I can't really say much more than that. So,
While cleaning his gun, Nixel would pipe in and say, "A person in power will never step in unless there's a benefit for themselves as well."
Can I insight that? That sounds like that's speaking from experience.
Sure.
Auragar just kind of gives a. Yeah, Gax is the same, just kind of like nodding and agreeing.
A 13.
Just give me a persuasion or deception roll. Don't tell me which. I think the nature of what he's talking about not necessarily stems from experience, but you feel he's... I mean, you obviously know he's a smart fairy. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He does things that you don't quite understand. When it comes to mechanical objects and infusing them with magic and the little robot he casts all the time. He's definitely got a history.
Okay. I'll leave it at that. I'm not gonna...
Nevertheless, the people in power should still be protecting the innocent. At least I believe so.
Speaking from personal experience, most don't. So long as it doesn't inconvenience them too much.
I know that all too well.
Then we need to make some changes here.
It's hard to change self-interest. Especially people who are self-interested. But, then again, we all have those moments, don't we? And I kind of look at the flail.
If the immortals step in, it allows the halflings to continue to dilute the population in Agaros.
What do you mean
This wouldn't help.
dilute?
Well, we can see what's happening in Port Vischer. It's overflowing. There's nowhere else for them to go.
That is true. We've had problems on the opposite side of the port.
The populace is being filled with halflings.
But if we worked to clear the savannah, then they would have room to grow outside Port Vischer.
Further diluting the populace. Why would the
Wouldn't
people in
really
power
put it as-
want this?
Do recall that there is a cult known as the Devouring Flames. It's possible that this is part of their goal. To do clearing out additional population. However, their means are obviously abhorrent.
Are you suggesting that we're playing into their plans, then?
No. No, not at all. At least not that I know of. Not intentionally. It's possible that that is their goal.
I didn't even know there was a cult.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't either. And I only spoke with Lendis. That's what led me to this. So, on that note, and I look at like I basically gesture to the mile of arid land. This area seems to have been afflicted with something. Again, there's something here, something buried. Weirdly, it's maybe 70 feet down, 70. It was oddly specific.
That is oddly specific. How do you know it's 70 feet down?
Again, Len just spoke to me.
Oh. Did they tell you where?
And I again gesture. It's within this mile. I think I can sense it, but it's buried.
Cedric looks a little defeated at the thought of having to dig up 70 feet across an entire mile.
When would you want to go see it?
He did say go to the center.
As soon as possible. My suspicion, and honestly, he mentioned this much, it's at the center of this plot.
Well, if we have a heading, I think we should at least rest for the night. I think we're a little weary from the adventures of the morning.
I will say, if you do continue on, every hour that you push, you have to make a Constitution saving throw, DC 10, and then if you fail the throw, you get a level of exhaustion.
Oh, gotcha, yeah.
Because we've been up.
Because
Yes.
you've traveled all day, right, and now it's time to rest.
Nixel, sitting down and cleaning his weapon still, would say, I think it makes sense to rest here then.
Perhaps an early morning, so that we can get done with this and on the road again.
I'm fine with that.
Is anyone visibly injured still?
Not anymore. I got healed up pretty well.
No. Okay, never mind then. Yeah.
I start to find a spot that I want to, lay down and rest in and
Cool.
make my
Shall we
bedding.
create an order for watch before we sleep?
I'll take the first.
I would also prefer the first.
I'll take the second.
I'll take the second as well.
I
And
suppose
again,
that
you,
leaves me
you,
with the
you
third.
only need half, because you only do 4 hours
Mm.
for being a half elf.
Alright, whatever.
You get to
Whenever.
share sometime.
Put me wherever. Sign me up.
So we've got first, lizard folk on second.
I suppose that makes me the third.
Okay. Bosco would probably fill in the third.
Can you do it in his voice?
Oh, I'm the third.
That's actually bad.
I had a long day.
That's actually not that bad.
Charlie would want me to go to Disneyland.
Oh, he's gonna get a kick out of that when he sees that.
So yeah, as the first group sort of meanders off and snuggles into their bedrolls, Cedric and Zarzros, you are up and about.
As soon as Gax falls asleep, the fire goes out.
You guys see the fire go and sizzle out. You're left in complete darkness. It's
concentration.
very dark out here. The only light you have is coming from the stars.
Cedric is a little jumpy at that. Not like full blown but when the fire goes out and he kind of settles back in.
Would Nixel have been asleep before? I guess. How can we determine whether Nixel or Gax would have fallen asleep first?
Roll for it.
Roll for it, sure. Just a regular roll. No modifiers.
9.
5.
Alright, Gax fell asleep.
The fire
before
goes out.
Since Nixel's not quite asleep, you would see Nixel. Anyone who's awake would see Nixel pull out, or rather touch his B pin. Sorry, I gotta get to it. And he would tap it once and the wings would flicker with green light. It would go and land on a dead leaf in the campfire and reignite it.
Alright, what are you casting?
Casting
Druid?
Druidcraft
Okay.
to reignite the flame.
Cool. Awesome.
It's not a concentration thing, so.
And this happens almost instantaneously after the.
Yeah, so it
thing
would
goes
go
out.
out. Nixel would stir, be like, fire's out, and tap his bee pin, and the bee would like fly over, and then. And the fire
Yeah, you
would go
guys
up
see the
again.
faintest little green energy goes.
And then after the
And this
flame,
kind of like greenish flame starts to just like emanate.
right,
Do
and
we-
then the bee would come back to me, land on me again. and
So we notice
nuzzle in.
Gax fall asleep, the fire go out.
Yep.
Nixel complain about it, touches the fire goes back on, all in the span of like 3-4 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. Okay. Cedric looks.
Or like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Because I mean,
okay.
you know the casual like. The groaning and moaning of like kind of just
Yeah.
like. Gotta get up and get a drink of water in the middle of the night.
The benefits of a colorful cast with characters, I guess.
I wanted to see the stars.
Oh.
Who these are?
While I have you, I hope you understand that everything I've done up to this point.
Wait, can I just say I am definitely pretending to be asleep, but I'm not because I'm listening.
Wait, you're definitely pretending to be asleep, but you're
I mean,
not.
yeah, sorry, I'm not asleep.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretending, so because I want to hear what you
Cool.
have to say.
Give me a stealth check, and you two give me a perception check.
I'm just wet before you say anything.
Ooh,
Oh no.
9.
11.
18, 19, 20, 23.
Damn.
Yeah, you guys have no clue that she's still up. So, carry on.
What I was about to say was, I hope you understand everything I've done to this point was not in spite of you all, but it was merely self-preservation until I could fully trust that my identity wouldn't be given away at first thought.
I think you've done a very good job at hiding that, and you chose the right time to tell us.
Not a moment too soon, I guess.
Well, it could have gone poorly.
What's the nature of you guys right now? Are you guys sitting around the fire, or have you meandered onto the edge of like where the rocks kind of encompass you guys, and like you're just sort of chilling out in the dark areas, or what?
In my mind's eye, I thought that we were looking away, like towards the outskirts of the group to see if anything is to make sure nothing approaches.
Okay.
As opposed to watching the center where we could be approached from behind.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just sort of standing there, like on one
Oh,
of
I
the
was thinking like
rocks, or-
sitting on a log or something.
Cool.
Yeah, I was thinking sitting.
All right, Aries, with your stealth check, what are you looking like?
I'm looking like I'm
Like, are
pretending to be
you
asleep.
in that center area, just sort of like
Mm.
standing there acting like you're in trance, or are you like?
I'm just resting, laying on my little bedroll, just chilling.
So you're actually looking at the stars.
Sure.
What Zarzaros wanted.
Yeah. Do it for you. I'm taking in the scenery, but really listening. And
What is Aries thinking after this day of travel about this group?
Colorful cast of characters.
Exactly.
Colorful cast. I think I'd probably be thinking about everything that Cedric has told us. That there's definitely, I guess, a little bit more common ground or connection between me and him, even though we haven't talked about anything.
The daddy,
Yet.
Daddy.
I didn't say that yet, but that maybe I can relate to him a little bit in some way, but that I'm also thinking about what he said about him being an heir and all that stuff, and kind of just because I don't know what's going on with my half sister that I've never met. I feel like I'm trying to piece things together, but I really don't really know what's going on yet. So I feel like he might be part of that to like help figure out things maybe a little bit more.
Cool. With you guys' perception checks, as you sort of finish up the next 3 hours of your shift.
I was gonna say that.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
So I guess after a while, so not immediately following the previous conversation, but Cedric would try to reinitiate conversation and say, as a fellow man, and looks at you up and down, dragon man of faith. What? What brings you here? In this? I know you're from here originally, but and then maybe like thumb pointing to Aries. What's up with that? How'd you two meet?
Well, we were both after the Grey Withers, and it was a chance meeting, honestly, but we needed to help each other. Thought it would be better to chase him down together than alone.
Was it a meeting on opposite sides, or?
No. I mean, she has a different approach to life.
Yes, I've noticed. Can't say I align too much with it, but to each their own. Who would
She's
have
been a good companion, though.
It's a fun combination, for sure. Who would have thought all of us being here and now, that first time we met, how did you bang up that knee of yours?
This armor is lovely.
Quite exquisite, yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. I may not have shown it, but I'm a man of taste, and I can tell you that's very finely crafted.
That is to say, it may be a little heavy sometimes.
Yes, I can imagine.
Well, the ship was already leaving, and
Inago ship.
yes,
Okay.
I had to make the jump.
It left port and you jumped from onto it.
Well, somewhat.
Why did you miss the ship?
I tripped.
Is this too long after this? Like, would I be paying attention to this? Because I definitely would shout out.
I'd say you'd probably be able to hear the louder bits for sure. So him saying "I tripped" would clue you in maybe on what he was talking about.
It hurt, okay?
I'm sure. I bandaged it myself. I saw.
Thank you
It
for
was,
that.
of course. Thus is my duty. No man left untreated. Or dragon man left untreated.
You don't have to say that part.
Understood. Just thought I'd cover all bases, but okay.
I appreciate it. It's not necessary.
Well,
How do you refer to that? I don't actually know.
that's why.
To a dragonborn.
That's why I've been
Is
saying
it
that.
like-
I'm like Cedric's just trying to be as polite as possible. He doesn't know.
You just call them dragonborns.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's like an elf. Like you call them an elf. They're not.
Elf
They are.
man.
They are a man or a feet
Yeah.
or a woman, but they're just elves.
That's funny.
This is fully Cedric, like not knowing what to say, but trying to be polite.
Like Bosco's also a man, but he's a halfling.
A halfling man. Well, to further adventures.
Who's this Seraphina?
Oh. Seraphina was the head priestess of the church that I served at. She's been another mentor to me after the loss of my first mentor.
I'm sorry, repeat that. I got distracted.
Our cat is just going nuts right now.
Oh my god, she wants out.
Seraphina is the head priestess of the church that I served at. She's been a mentor to me ever since the loss of Bemar. She helped me escape the city when I first came to her with what I found. I wouldn't be here without her help. She also gave me this ring, and Cedric points towards his holy symbol.
Is she in danger now that she aided you in escaping?
I don't think so.
The ring is gold, right?
It's silver.
It's
It's
okay.
silver.
So it's a silver ring
With a
that's
red
got like
stone.
a red stone or ruby in it. It's not engraved with anything, right?
No.
Well, that's good that she's keeping out of harm's way and did it in a way that she didn't implicate herself.
Yes, I worry for her sometimes, but there's very little connecting her to me other than we both served in the same church.
Seems a bit shallow.
The Ilmatari don't keep many earthly connections.
Why is that? If you're so willing to help and heal, wouldn't you want to keep connections with life?
Connections between me and life is irrelevant. Ilmater and life is what matters. I am just a tool for him to use. And I do it willingly. And yourself? What brings you to serve her Lady Mercy?
We are the paladins of her mercy,
Oh,
because she bestows it upon us.
bestows mercy upon us.
Yes.
A noble cause for sure. How'd you get your start there?
A mentor of mine. His name was Thunciendel.
Sorry, what was it?
Thunciendel.
Thunziendel. Okay. You mentioned you've lost him as well.
He was murdered
I understand the pain.
by the Grey Withers.
So a personal vendetta.
You see him kind of clench his jaw. Yes.
Well, for the sake of both our masters and mentors, let's make sure that we bring them to justice. To justice.
In the right way. perception? There's nothing we need to worry about or anything as we're...
You guys don't have dark vision. You rolled kind of low on your perception. So...
We're chatting away, monsters are just coming.
Too busy chit-chatting.
Yeah, I mean, you hear some flying animals that just like pass the group. You can kind of see maybe a shadow here and there, but it's gone in a fleeting moment that you guys can't quite see what it is.
As our
There's
watch...
also the sound of like crickets and things going on, but other than that, a peaceful evening.
As our watch is kind of coming to a close and hopefully the fire is burning out a little bit, you will just see him looking up at the stars of his home.
I think the last thing Cedric will say before we end our watch is he'll get up as the time's running over, he'll dust himself off. He doesn't like all the dirt and dust. And he'll look at you, he'll say, for what it's worth, I'm sure your mentor will be very proud of you.
Thank you.
And he would head off to bed, make sure his bedspread is all nice and...
Cool. You guys sort of, as you're heading over, getting yourself situated.
Which one wakes
sort
up
of
which?
like-
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
go
go
to-
to...
I
ask
asked
that.
Yes, I would go to Gax first.
Just, like, gently nudge.
I would go to Gax. Friend.
It's your turn.
It's my turn. Okay.
It's your turn.
By the way,
And I kinda grumble.
went out,
Thank
but
you.
Nixel got it.
Okay. Good to know.
And I get up and I go to the fire and kind of find a spot. After a couple minutes of standing, Auragar's going to go and sit down on like a nearby piece of wood or something like that, something that just provides a decent sitting surface. And you start to see him fiddling around with the shield he just recently made with out of the bones of the boar and stuff like that. And it's like you see him like it looks like he's he's still kind of getting some of like the cleaning up some of the less refined pieces of the shield, either tightening the tendons and stuff like that. And you kind of hear him kind of grumbling a little bit.
It's been a while since I've had a chance to actually work on anything craft related. I feel like I've lost some of our village's trades and skills. Culture.
In contrast, you see Gax. He's sitting on either like a large stone or something like that, and he has on the opposite side of the fire from you. He has his staff in his lap, and you see like the incorporeal star map kind of come out. And as he's looking up at the stars, he's tracing the constellations and stuff like that. Kind of almost mapping down where we've been.
You've been gone for a long time. A lot of things have changed there. For good and bad. But I'm happy to see that you're alive.
He kind of looks at you, kind of like softens a little bit.
Thank you. I forgot how lonely it was. I got used to it. A family. Yeah. Who knew? Honestly, I kind of did. I wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. But I knew you. You were always one of the better ones. Trying to make it better. Yeah. The fact you try. I feel like some of us in the Veshlands have lost that. Yeah, I agree. I miss them a lot, though. Listen.
As he kind of has like a smile on his face a little bit.
I know what has Silas been doing?
He seems like he's still his usual self.
Ooh.
He was the peace druid.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember all this stuff.
Yeah. It's okay if you don't remember personally. I would have rather forgotten him, honestly.
I really did.
There's a reason I left.
Whatever. Oh, they're in my actual notebook, not in this.
Gax is a very busy man.
Oh, yeah.
Back home.
Yeah.
He's always been sleazy, I guess. I don't know. He's doing something. I've been trying my best to make sure that everything's okay there, but at least with the wives there, I know everything will be okay.
It's good.
Did you say wives?
I did
That's
say
the same
wives.
thing. We were just silent to each other. I was like, wait,
definitely
did
said
he-
wives.
I definitely said
multiple?
wives. But is anybody awake? No, I don't fucking think so.
Yeah, no, that was the silent look at him. We were
Be
like,
glad Cedric did not hear this.
That's the entire time where I was like, oh, I can't wait to talk to Bosco about family when he finds out that I have like 100 billion kids and 2 wives. He's gonna be like, what?
No wonder he's so busy.
But at least they'll be able to take care of most things, and hopefully the kids will be able to clean up everything else.
I think. Were you with me when Silas said to this flail, this weapon, for some reason, the peace druids are looking for it. I don't know why. You would think the Dragon of Judgment would be a good thing. But maybe that's where Silas's betrayal lies. Assuming he is.
Well, maybe they're trying to stop the Dragon of Judgment from judging them, you know?
And the question remains,
Why? Yeah.
what are they worried about being judged for?
Well, you say you can talk to it, so having more conversations with it might enlighten you about more of what it can do and what they might want to hopefully try, what they're trying to prevent.
Well, that's hopefully this site, and I gesture to the mile of arid land. Hopefully this site might clue us in somehow.
Tomorrow.
It's about the first judge.
Oh,
Can I do a history check?
Yeah.
Yay. Where is my history?
I would say do it with disadvantage because this is very reclusive.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know shit. You got a 4. Plus 2, 6.
Yeah.
I'm not
The,
gonna bother.
the most you know about any of this is the fact that you know of Lendis and you know that he's carrying something that he seems to be talking about a judge.
yeah. Hopefully tomorrow will enlighten us more. I can dig the hole when you need it to be dug.
Thank you.
No problem.
And of course, if you need anything from me,
I'll make sure to ask. I don't know, this plague, how it's affecting different people, how it's changing its properties depending on the race. It's baffling.
it's calculated.
Yeah, I agree. But my question is why was our plague so much sooner than everybody else's?
Something interrupted it.
Either somebody figured out a way to cure it, and then they needed to change it again, or somebody stopped them from spreading it.
But then, who was that?
And if it's spread, are they gone?
Question I should ask Lendis the next chance I get.
No. I don't know. More questions than answers.
Well,
Gax is kind of like biting on the end of his claw at that point. A very like something you would know from his childhood of like a nervous tick, or at least trying to figure something out.
in a rare case of empathy, I walk over to you and I put my hand on your shoulder. I've traveled for 4 years and found nothing. It was only in the last few months that I came across this weapon. Sometimes breakthroughs take a long time.
Yeah.
I chuckled to myself on that, thinking back to when Gax's father created Breakthrough and stuff like that.
My father created something like that. The cure. He called it Breakthrough.
That old man.
Hearing Auragar laugh is a little unsettling.
I'm going to sleep.
True. And then I'd say
Derek shudders
we
in
probably
sleep.
reminisce. From then on, we probably reminisce about growing up or something until we start shift.
Yeah. I think near the end of your shift, the moon is pretty high in the sky, and actually, you haven't rolled perception yet, so both of you give me one of those.
And can I have Nyx give me
Actually,
advantage
not
on
terrible.
this?
Sure. There's no light around except for does Raven have dark vision?
I don't believe so.
So then she wouldn't really add any extra help to you.
Dang.
Because the minute you
Question
leave
asked
that
when
area,
this-
from your sight to their sight,
Yeah.
it's the same because they're in darkness, which is disadvantage.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I got chicken scratching.
I think we got a 12. Yeah, 12. Oh, can I give myself guidance on it then?
Yeah.
Instead?
This is
14.
Not even one page.
14.
13. Or, sorry, 15.
Okay.
This is plus 6.
Both of you, you're used to this environment. It's not the exact same environment that you guys grew up in, have lived in, but it's similar. You grew up in kind of a coastal xeric shrubland with a bunch of like fauna and like wildlife, flowers and things like that. This is more tougher grasses and things. But the familiar noises don't alert you to anything terrible on its way. You guys probably get up, scout around the perimeter once or twice after talking, and you don't hear the sounds of like thunderous hooves or anything nearby. I think, Gax, you'd probably put your head down on the ground and sort of like listen and make sure that there's nothing beneath you guys as well. With your prior event that day, you're probably a little bit more on edge from that sort of attack. And yeah, you guys feel perfectly safe to pass it on to the third shift, which would then be
I stand.
Nixel and Boss.
I'm gonna go over to Nixel and I just kind of stand over for a second and I go, "Wake up!"
Nixel would wake up and kind of panic a little bit. He's not used to such a large hand touching him to like rouse him awake. So he'd wake up and look and then be like, "Oh,
Your shift is turned.
Alright. I'm like groggy, like wipe the like sleep from his eyes and kind of clamber up to his feet and straighten out his robe a little bit and then go head over to the fire.
Cool.
I make my way back to the bed and flump.
Gax, just
Jax.
yeah. Gax uses his. Are you like laying on your back, or are you just like? How are you sleeping or trancing? I guess.
I didn't really think about this. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of slumped on my side. Sure, not completely like face up or face down.
Gax's tail just kind of like hits your foot.
I think I just would sit right up. And be like, oh, my turn.
Yes. And then, kind of like a dog, almost, he kind of like circles around, and I just plop.
On that sweet spot.
Yeah.
Warm up my bed.
Yeah.
You hear Bosco Ross.
Nobody's gonna wake me up.
Yeah, was he supposed to take the last with us? Or?
Yeah. Obviously, he won't say much because,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
He's just.
Luke is not here tonight.
Yeah.
He gets a pass on this one.
Sure, you'd have plenty to say.
I guess I'll go get some firewood.
Heat up the porridge somehow. With all the trees.
I really don't know what I'm gonna do without my croissants.
Wake up and it's just a sea of fire.
It's a good thing I passed
Cleanse my flame!
Bosco, we miss
The
you.
Thok is gone.
Okay.
Oh,
Alright.
spooky.
He would have to summon him again.
Separated him.
Well, as I take my seat, whatever. To look
Yeah,
around.
Nixel,
Yeah.
while he's sitting, would probably be tinkering with some of his tools, cleaning mechanisms from his B-pin and anything else that he can kind of dismantling and cleaning his weapons and the pieces that he puts together for his cannons and all kinds of different modular pieces that he has. Just cleaning every single one with like little brushes and screwdriver, like tightening the screws.
Oh boy.
Just making sure
Just a
everything.
lot of.
You're like a little pit crew.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look over at Nixon and I'm gonna be like, got a lot of gadgets there, huh?
Yes.
Do you keep them all? Like never ending.
In my pockets. I've got lots of them.
How many pockets?
Too many to count.
What you working on?
Oh, I'm just cleaning all my gadgets here, all my modular pieces that build my creations.
Interesting. I'm gonna just start sharpening my daggers. Not to anything, but like, let me just work on my own thing.
Interesting.
Nixel would pull out a grinding
not
stone.
anything
Trying to
crazy.
find your own busy.
I'm just like, here.
Nixel would pull out a grinding stone and hand it to you.
So, yeah, you guys are awake.
Yeah, Nixel would hand you a grindstone and say, might be
Oh.
easier than the rocks you're using there.
Oh, thank you. You know,
Just two.
no, not two. I don't think I need to act out every little thing. I know what I'm doing. Me and Nixel have a lot of common
Nixel would
ground
then
here.
be watching her to see if she knows how to use this thing.
Oh, should I need to roll for that? I don't even know. God, do I know?
Give me an intelligence check.
This will be good.
Am I...
DC is pretty low.
This is those times when a rogue roll might go.
That's a 16.
Oh,
Yeah. She knows how to use it.
I know what I'm doing.
Good.
See all these daggers strapped here?
Both of you give me a perception check.
Watch, I'll probably use my good roll on that.
Yeah.
I use my good roll on that. 11. 10.
Ooh.
Dang it.
I guess
I
I'll roll
rolled
for,
16
roll
or
for
four.
Bosco
The
as
groupings
well.
are strong.
Bosco rolled an 11. So.
The groupings are strong.
Yeah, you guys are up and about, sort of. You can see the sun that's starting to peek up behind the horizon. You get the nice orange and yellow and reds that are starting to. I mean, you've seen The Lion King.
Yes, but Nixel hasn't seen the Lion King.
Right, but
Nixel
for
is
your own mental
baffled.
image. That's
turn
what we're
all
talking
friends
about.
gone.
The sun kind of like peeking over. You can see kind of like that hazy of the heat that's just like moving in waves across as the grasses are sort of like breezing along.
Nixel thinks
You guys see a couple of like gazelles and things just hopping by. I would say,
Hey guys, look! I found a rabbit!
go shoot it. You see Bosco sort of like scurry over. Maybe roll a stealth check on him.
Can I see it? Can I see the rabbit?
He's as he starts to like scurry off and like approach, you can see that's just sort of like nibbling there, like as Bosco quietly takes his bow out and just goes. I'm gonna roll to hit for him. Nat 20. To hit a rabbit.
That's not bad.
When it really counts.
Bosco just straight into the side of the rabbit, goes limp on the ground.
I got breakfast, guys! And y'all think I couldn't aim?
Don't you have a shit ton of boar meat?
So he brings back a rabbit for breakfast. You guys see all this transpire. Anything else you would like to do on your long rest?
No,
Your shift?
other than say that Nixel thinks that this sun rising thing is absolutely bewitching. He's in love with it.
Bewitching.
He's never seen something like this magnificent before.
Cool. Mesmerized.
Yes.
So yeah, as the shift comes to a close, you guys sort of like naturally let them wake up or rustle them up. What are you doing? I think Bosco would probably walk around and just start kicking people.
Yeah, I think we start clanking around some pans for breakfast. And like,
I just
kinda
tail
like-
I would put my pistol together, walk into the middle of the group, and just go.
while we're clanking pans.
You see the birds and it's just
Now you know not to put us three on last watch because you're gonna be
Cedric
working out like this.
jumps at this. Jumps in pajamas at the ready.
Between Bosco's voice, me banging pans, and him shooting, I mean, come on.
No,
the greatest.
the pan Cedric is just annoyed, but he's trying to get the last few minutes of sleep in. The gunshot is the last straw. He jumps at the ready and looks around and sees you just holding the pistol up in the air.
You see a lazy smoke curling off the barrel.
Exactly.
Why?
Was that really necessary?
In the middle of this savannah, is it the best idea?
It seemed to get all of you going.
And anything else? And
I'm
anything
a little-
else a mile and a half away?
I'm literally gonna chuckle at Nixon and just be like, calm down, guys. He's letting loose a little bit. He's a little bit of a tightwad sometimes. He's having a little fun. I think we're all right. And you guys did need to get up, so
We
here's
agreed
breakfast.
to an early morning, yes.
The memes are, look, nobody says anything else.
He just shuts. The means of your awakening were not discussed.
Cedric recomposes himself because he let himself go there. He recomposes himself and he goes, Nixel, if you would be so kind as to have a more gentle awakening in the future, it'd be much appreciated. Thank you.
I think he prefers a cup of tea in the morning.
Yes,
It's right next to his bed.
Ares gets it.
I
No,
really
but that's-
wasn't even trying to wake you guys up. I just wanted to make sure that I cleaned and assembled my gun the proper way.
Nixon, we both know you're far too intelligent to be making those claims.
I'm gonna keep an eye out on the horizon, make sure nothing's coming now that they heard a
It's
gunshot
same.
across
I'm also
the
doing
savannah.
that because
Sure,
I'm
yeah.
like, I don't.
Perception checks as you guys are sort of getting your stuff
God.
ready to go and
All of us?
yeah.
But I'm still waking up and my eyes are like super groggy, so I see
I'd say since you
crusties.
two specifically said just roll with advantage, the rest of y'all just regular roll.
It wasn't much better. It was a 4. The last one was a
Wow.
modified 1.
Sleepy lizard folk.
22.
Groggy boy.
13.
13.
Doubled my first roll.
25. 5. Nixel.
Oh, am I wrong?
Yeah.
Oops. 12.
11.
Cool. Yeah, nothing terribly dangerous on the horizon or beneath you or in the air that you guys can see at this present time. You guys, I'm assuming, are starting to head out. Are you packing everything up, or are you going to be leaving stuff here? What's going on?
The first thing Nixel would do is take out a ration. And you'd see a small glass of water and a wafer. And he'd eat his breakfast and pack everything up, and then he'd say, "Ready when you are."
To that note, I do grab a portion that you've set aside for us. I grab like probably a half portion, and just cut it with the dagger. Put it in the fire, let it heat up, and then immediately fucking go into town.
Cool.
The comment he made when he first separated those portions was that Cedric's is slightly smaller than the rest. And I have that written down. Cedric does not go to eat the rations, but he notices Auragar going for the pre-packaged portions, and he goes to see if there's any for him, because there's names for everyone. And he notices that his are slightly smaller, and especially after the stunt you pulled this morning, he gives you a scowl, but he doesn't say anything.
I forgot to mention, yeah, you guys get a full long rest, so awesome. Do that.
Yours looks a little small.
Yes, I've noticed.
Looking out, how far away is that, like, sand area?
The edge of, like, what looks to be unnatural is about 500 feet away.
Oh.
But the area of arid land itself that's out of place is much larger than that. That's just, like, where it starts.
Okay.
And once I've finished eating, I'm gonna start making my way towards the center, and I'm looking at the ground. I'm gonna try to move the sand a little bit, see if there's any like granulations that are just underneath the surface. But I'm also kind of trying to sense for any other things, whether it's arcane or otherwise.
Yep. So as you guys, I'm assuming you guys are heading out then? 100%.
Yes.
Everyone's ready to go.
The cart.
If we're only going a mile, wouldn't it make sense to make base camp here and come back?
I think so, at least.
I would agree with that.
Leave Bones here.
And we can leave Bosco here, too, to make sure that
Stay
it's
with
watched.
Bones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it doesn't get Savannah Spider.
Yeah.
That just sounds just like you guys to just leave me here.
That wasn't my idea.
No one thinks I can do anything.
That's not true. We just need someone to stay with the cart.
Also pick on the short guy, huh?
Do you want me to stay with you?
I mean, it would be nice to have someone to talk to.
Bosco, we just think you're the most capable of doing this.
I will also stay with you, Bosco.
All right, then. Okay. We can go hunting, I guess. Maybe we can find a pond and go fishing.
At that note, Gax is done entertaining this, and he's gonna go walk after Auragar.
Cool. Okay. So who is actually heading out then?
So it's,
I mean, as long as you're fine with us all going with you, it's not anything you feel in private, then yeah.
no, I don't know. I'm fine with these.
Going to.
So what, just us four, or are you two coming as well?
I think
So this
these two
is-
are staying, but
Just so everyone is aware, this is going to be about 1.5 mile hike to where the center is.
yeah. So they won't be able to just respond instantly if something
Yeah.
happens. So.
Everyone cool with that?
Can I convince Bosco that I should go and he can stay with Nixon?
Wait, what? I thought you.
Yeah, sure.
Is this
Say,
as-
don't even convince him, just leave.
have we left at this point?
Not quite yet. I mean, you guys are sort of
Okay,
like
can I-
discussing all of
Can
it.
I pick up what he's trying to do?
I mean, he hasn't said anything yet. He's just talking to the DM at the moment.
Okay.
Do you trust him?
Do I trust you?
I feel like we might need more people wherever they're going. But we also need people to watch the cart. Our tinkerer over here could maybe even build something while we're away.
We could just take the cart and then you could take me.
Fuck it.
We can keep the
I
campsite
guess
here.
let's
Just take
get
the
it
car.
going then.
So.
I mean, who's gonna take the bones and the tusks and things?
You never know.
Fair.
enough.
Give me just a general.
We'll just
Persuasion
take the
check.
cart.
Yeah. We'll just
Oh,
take
yeah,
them with
take
us.
the
and
cart.
then
Let's
we'll
take-
just
I'm not too
leave
concerned
with,
either way. It's whatever
let's,
you guys
let's
think.
take the cart.
Whether we
Yeah,
bring
let's
it or
just
leave it, and
bring
leave it
it.
with nobody, I'm kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Leave
I'd rather
leave all your campsite stuff, but take the cart.
Yeah.
Or are you just packing up?
Well,
and
we-
sleeping?
We'll just
Pack
pack up and we'll
everything.
go.
Yeah.
Right,
Let's
yeah.
pack
Pack
up
everything.
because we're gonna be on hitting the road again,
Yeah.
anyway. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, as you guys start on your journey outward, I'm assuming you've got Nyx kind of
Yeah,
just flying
flying
out
ahead.
above.
Kind of chirp if
And I'll
she
take
sees
point on this
anything
as
of-
far as marching orders if it's
Right.
asked.
So I was gonna say, now that you guys are started moving forward into this kind of questionable arid land, you once before had sort of like dipped your hand down and picked up some of the grains and just got this smell of burnt cinders and ash to it. It even has like a couple of like gray and black speckles that are just intermixed with the gravel and the sand that you pick up. As you continue forward, give me a investigation check.
Ooh, that's going to be a dirty 20.
Cool. As you continue towards the center, and what's guiding you is the flail itself. It has this pull, as if it's every time you take a wrong step, you feel that tug at your hip as it forces you back towards where you're supposed to be going. So it seems.
I'm almost like holding out like a sensor a little bit, just kind of waving back and forth.
The surrounding areas, as you get closer and closer to the center, have a more densely packed stone. Up until the point where you get 500 feet from the center, and it's basically sandstone at this point. And as you stop there to sort of look around and make connections about this area of land, It's built like it was some sort of city or town at one point, and since has been either destroyed or even time itself has just eroded it completely. As you near towards the center, you look down at the ground and there's no ladders, there's no holes in the ground, there's nothing. It's just desert.
You kind of hear a grunt in frustration. It's like, there's something, a town, city, buried underneath us. But there's no kind of entrance. I can't tell what kind of a place this was, but I'm going to...
Sensing your frustration and stuff like that, Gax, similar to last night, he puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, or I say,
I can help with that.
and I'm going to use a wild shape, and I'm going to, you see Gax transform into a giant badger.
Nice.
In that moment, telepathically, can I have Nyx go like just directly above us, and through her eyes, can I see to make sure that we are actually in like the middle of this entire arid space?
Yes. I'd say you don't need to roll for that. It's just based on... It's pretty clear lines. Like, again, this place seemed like it was just slapped here. You can tell that you're directly in the center. Whatever Auragar is holding has guided you right to where it wants you guys to be.
Okay. And then in that moment, I start digging.
Okay. You see this
Yeah.
giant badger just start digging, and I think your burrow speed's like 10 feet?
10 feet, yep.
So it takes you
Couple of
6
minutes.
or 7?
Yeah. To dig 70 feet down.
It's about a minute.
But I don't think Gax would do that. I think he would try and make it as like safe as possible for people to get down.
So you would make
It's
like
not like
kind
a
of like a wider area.
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of
Would you make
like,
it staircasey?
No, I think he would make it more ramp-like.
Like a circle?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Like a spiral staircase almost?
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, it takes like 2 or 3 minutes. You just see this giant, you see Gax transform into this like a greenish kind of like fur, right?
Yeah, and like almost like an orange racing stripe, just like right down the middle of it. That's the fin on the top of his head.
Cool. So yeah, you see him just start transforming into this giant fuzzy badger and just start tearing through the earth. At some point, you lose sight of him. You're sort of like looking over the edge, and you just see the claws moving, the sands pumping up in the air. Give me a. You just have dark vision, right?
Dark vision for 60 feet.
Okay. Not true sight.
No, not true sight.
Okay. Give me a perception or a survival check, actually.
Oh, check. Okay. Nat 1.
Nat 1?
Yeah.
You're just... You haven't transformed in a long time, and you're just going. You're happy. You're like, I'm a giant badger. This is a great day. I haven't been able to do this in so long. All of a sudden, you don't feel the ending of where this land is, and you smash through the bottom, and there is like an empty space of about 20 feet.
Oh, shit.
And you fall through it. I need you to give me a Actually, with a nat 1, I'm not going to even have you roll a dexterity save. I'll just give you the damage. You're going to take 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. How's that? Do we hear the echo of the crash when he falls?
Yes, so you guys would sort of like looking over the edge. All of a sudden, a massive, like, as he's digging, the land kind of like falls out from underneath of him, and you hear and like the groans of like a what the hell is a badger sound like?
I don't know. I don't think they make a lot of noises.
Yeah. all I know is they're fucking indestructible.
It kind of ruins the staircase a little bit. You guys see that part of the structure that he had created kind of like fell in with him, and so like you land, and then a bunch of like sand and like gravel, loose stone sort of falls on you as well.
Oh yeah.
As you sort of like shake that off, you get up on your all fours again, and with your 60 feet of dark vision, you see around you just kind of like a small cavern. It's about 50 feet, more like 40 feet wide, and about 50 feet long. And it's got almost like the back half of like what would be a temple shape. So it's kind of got this like half semicircle shape to it. And you turn around and look behind you as well, and you don't hear anything approaching at all, but you do hear kind of like a bit of like soft flowing ripply water. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
I look down the tunnel. Gax, are you alright? Can he even speak to me when he's in this form?
I'm trying to find that out right now.
Do we have a rope or something like that we can...
I do have a rope
Yeah, we
with
have
me.
rope.
We'll need something to fasten it to the ground so that it doesn't, come loose.
Is this like just loose
The cart.
sand or loose dirt? Is there... Oh, the cart, that's a good idea.
As you got closer to the center, it became less and less loose.
So that's right.
That's
it's
why
more
you
like
needed
sandstone.
someone
Yeah.
like him to like burrow through like
I
this
see. The
tough
deeper, the
sand.
tougher.
Yeah.
No, but tying it to the cart is a good idea as an anchor point.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I do have rope. We should tie it to the cart is a good idea.
That way we can climb
Thank
up
you.
if we have that on the exit.
Exactly.
So you guys start
Um,
smashing the like a piton or something into the stone.
Assuming anyone has a piton.
I do.
We're
Heck yeah.
We're
That's a
tying it
rope
to the
for you.
cart.
Gotcha.
It's a rope for you.
You do
I
hear
am
a
stuck.
response from
Yeah, I'm
Gax, by the
confused,
way, which is,
We're-
I'm fine, but there is a drop at the end.
Kind of echoing out that echoey sound.
Yeah.
Like someone who just is like in a tunnel.
We're tying the rope to the cart.
Okay, so you're not hammering something.
No, into the ground.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, we have all those things. We need it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, the cart's there. I might as well use it as an anchor point.
Sure. Yeah, you
And
guys
it's-
find a way to like wedge it into like a stone or put a stone in front of the wheel or whatever, so it's
Yeah.
not gonna move.
I mean,
or
it's also
anything.
weighted down by all the tusks and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
too,
yeah.
right?
Right.
So-
And I feel it much better. It's a good thing you brought the cart because the sandstone's probably going to be a lot harder for any savannah spider to show up and fucking
That's
nab
true.
him. So, I
So
hope.
as Cedric ties this, he goes, "That's not going anywhere."
Oh, no.
That's not going anywhere.
And then, obviously, once that's all set and arranged, I'm going to take the rope and make the first. I'm going to go down there first. So,
Cool. Give me an acrobatics or athletics check.
am I better? What am I better at? Which one?
So you're going down this rope.
No.
So you would have had to tie 2 of your 50-foot ropes together because obviously you went down
Oh, yeah.
70.
And then another 20.
Yeah.
So I rolled a natural 20 on the athletics check.
Nat 20.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not your first rodeo, Auragar. Everything's like, this isn't going anywhere, and you just see Auragar run over, grab the rope, and just sort of like, see you later. and he just rappels down like so nicely and quickly. He gets down to you in like a matter of seconds, and I'm assuming you look back up and just there's no one coming down after you.
Well,
I think I'd
joining
yeah,
me?
I'd be like, right after he goes, I'd be like, let's go.
is there
all right?
any
Yeah,
like?
fine. Go.
No, there's probably no wooden
What's that
logs in
I didn't
here.
realize
is there?
that from the new
There's
changes.
probably like no wooden logs laying around in this area.
HP.
Uh,
WHP.
I mean,
Yeah.
So,
not
It's
in
like
this
barren.
one.
instead I
Yeah.
took 1 damage.
18.
18,
12.
12.
19.
Roll a 6.
Before going down, Nixel would actually tap his B pin again, and it would whir to life as he would cast Alarm and have the B pin start circling around where we're leaving, like the cart and bones and all that.
Oh, nice. So you now have like a kind of like alarm on if anyone were to enter that space where the wagon is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's doing that before he goes down, and I have it in my thing here that it would create like a noiseless alarm in his mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just so
It would only
alert.
notify you unless you made it so it would notify others.
Right, so that's what would happen.
Are you making it notify others or just yourself?
Just myself. And then he'd fly down the hole instead of.
Cool.
True, you can do that.
Bosco passed as well. Anyone who rolled a higher than a 10, which I think was everyone, you guys managed to find your way down into this area. And you guys get down there. The only one with dark vision other than Gax right now is Ares. So you see the same thing. It's pretty much pitch black in here otherwise. So the rest of you are blind.
With that,
Are we all close to each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than the light coming in from the hole that goes about like 20 feet out in emanation, it's pitch black.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not blinded in where we currently are right now because we can't see forward.
Exactly, yeah. It's like if you've seen any,
Yeah.
any
Will be
Indiana
blind.
Cedric will put his hand on Zarzaros's shoulder, kind of as like a guide, so he doesn't get lost.
with
No,
that,
I can't see either, right?
Nixel would
Better
be,
together than lost.
Nixel would be searching through his pockets to pull out a vial of some phosphorescent moss, and he'd take that out and pop open the barrel of his pistol, pop it in there, and he's casting light on his pistol.
Oh, very nice. A beautiful lit up pistol.
So wait,
And that
pistol's
gives you
lit
how
up
much?
Or shining a light from it?
It gives a
pistol itself, like,
20-foot radius bright light, and then dim light for an additional 20.
Okay, so yeah, you guys now have 40 feet of dim light, essentially. Well, bright light and then dim light.
Cedric awkwardly takes the hand away from Oh, better we don't get lost. Oh, no.
And then Nixel would check with his robe, and he'd just cover it up to make sure that it's working as he intends it to be. He can cover up the light if he needs to.
Cool. So yeah, as you guys make your way through here, what are you guys doing? There's kind of two paths. One with using Nixel's light, one has kind of like a dead end in about 50 feet or so, and then the other thing you can see on the backside is that there's like a small like pool of water about 40 feet away.
I'm going to
Is there
inspect the
any-
pool
It's
of water.
all kind of encased.
Is there anything on the walls?
So, good question. Give me an investigation check.
I'm going to check out the pool of water.
I'm gonna assist you in that, by the way.
Oh, that can be advantage. Is that what that is? I get advantage from that, from him helping me.
Yeah.
finished at 24.
Okay. Before I get into that, anything from you two on Nixel?
You said what, one was just we can tell that it's a dead end?
Yeah.
One path?
There are some other things over there.
I
The
wanna go
face.
check it out.
Yeah, I feel like I would still just make a loop around and make sure there's nothing else
Okay,
that's
so
like
scoping
missing.
the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nixel would stay in the center to provide light to everyone.
Okay. So, as you guys are kind of like looking over kind of the cavern walls, I need you to give me a religion check.
Can I? Do I also do a religion check, or can I just assist him?
You can assist.
Ooh, assist again. Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, so not the nat one. An 11.
An 11. As you're walking down the walls here, and there's tiny inscriptions all over the place. They don't necessarily mean anything to you, but you can tell that they're of a religious nature, giving you the inclination that this area was at some point either a religious household or a temple of some sort. And with you guys casing around, you guys find a lot of like broken down pillar structures that were here. They're rubbed down so far they almost it's hard to tell. But there's definitely some of that like fancy engraving that's going on. This was man-made. It wasn't natural. It's not like a stalagmite or something that's just chilling here. As you head over to the pool, it starts to get darker as you're moving away from his light, right? So you don't necessarily feel what's the word I'm looking for? You don't feel that pull that you did from the flail. You head over to the water and you sort of stare into it and you see your two beady red eyes staring back at you. And you just have this pit in your stomach. As this feeling starts to overwhelm you a little bit, you guys see another flash of light happen in the distance about 30 feet away from you, across this water. And there's this small, kind of like circle-ish area that's just sitting in the middle.
In the
There's-
middle of the water?
Yeah, there's like an extra piece that's like of land that's just sort of like sitting in the middle of it, like a 10-foot circle. And what it looks like is, hold on, where is it? I've lost it. Oh, it's a barrier of like silvery liquid glass.
On the over
You
the
can
pool,
see
or-
through it, but you can tell that it's liquid. It's moving. It's moving like this in a circle.
This is the island in the center. Of
Yes, and through it, you can see what looks to be a toppled lectern, along with what seems to be 2 grave sites in the middle of it.
I see graves, too.
There's writing on these walls, but I can't make out what they are. They're religious in nature, but I can't tell what it is. Have you seen anything like... Can I, like, call Auragar over? Have you seen anything like this before?
I head over to where they are and I take a look at...
And I also call over Zarzaros, because maybe he's seen it too.
I look at the wall. Does it look like what I think it does? Does it look like it's symbols that I've seen in the tome, the book that I have?
Oh, it does not.
I'll
Okay.
I'll take a peek at it. Is there anything that I would recognize?
I need you to roll with advantage.
Ooh.
I was right to call him
On
over.
religion.
Oh,
Can I help
guidance.
him with that? Yeah, a guidance.
Guidance. So you can roll with the D4 and add it.
Ooh. Ooh.
All right. So that is a 24.
Oh yeah,
24.
Jinx.
I need you to pair that with a religion
isn't
check
part of
as
the
well
rest of the
with
session.
advantage.
Wasn't that the religion check?
That was.
Oh, that was religion?
Yes.
Give me an investigation check with advantage as well.
And
Guidance, yep.
We're just both casting it.
Don't
on him, like,
forget.
You're not gonna fail this.
Not a talk.
What is this?
Investigation.
Investigation.
Yeah.
Okay. 13.
Okay. As you take the next 10 minutes or so looking over at all of this, I think you're pretty quiet about it. As your friends are sort of like, I don't know if they're eagerly like watching you and seeing what, chomping at the bit to see what you know of this.
Oh,
but
I
they
am.
can definitely tell that you have uncovered something. But it doesn't make sense to you either. Being a new paladin of her mercy, you've heard multiple stories about a place like this. But it was always sort of like thrown under the rug. It was something that happened and that we should never speak of it. And the pictograms that are sort of on the walls tell this story. And the main point is that you come to find out this was a haven for initiates of the Paladins of Her Mercy at one point in time.
Like I would come up right here next to my pal and be like, so, anything interesting?
This place is sacred. Though there's something else about it. Something I've only heard stories of.
What have you heard in your stories?
Do I know any specifics from, like, what?
Being
why
so
they don't-
new and being so hush-hush, no one would have talked to you about it.
I just knew of them.
In passing, someone probably was like, hey, have you heard of this? And then they didn't have any extra information on it either. They just were like curious if you knew anything.
I don't know anything more. It was a very hushed topic.
Are you saying this is holy ground?
Or at least it was an area where paladins have met and become before.
think anyone surveying the land or the scoping of the place would notice several burn marks all over the place. Not of blasts, but of like a house fire. Scorched stone that's just sort of like falling away off of itself. Scorched bits of sand and dirt and gravel, along with like some larger pieces of like Zorethian wood that would have just been kind of like left over.
Are there any remains of living things?
They were.
You don't see any remains, no.
All I could find were those two graves.
Mm-hmm.
On the opposite side of. Is it the opposite side of the pool?
Of the pool, yeah. You basically, it's kind of like one of those pools that's like going through the rock. You know what I'm saying? Like it has some sort of entry and exit point that's just like sliding through the cavern walls. It's that kind of pool.
Oh, I got it. So the pool's coming in from
Yeah.
somewhere and going out on the opposite. Okay.
Oh, so it's like almost like a river almost, but going in one direction.
It's kind of just like a seeping basement almost, where like water finds its way through it. Obviously, you guys know you're in a savanna that's next to the coast. It's probably just a coastal seepage of some sort that's like.
So the water wasn't part of the construction of the building. That was an element of nature coming through.
Yeah.
And there just happens to be an island in the middle with the silver glass orb.
Yeah.
Still in badger form, can I walk over and just put like one paw in to see how deep it is?
Gax, be careful. There's something about this water.
I just do it. I don't think about it. There is no thought. I'm doing it.
You put your foot into the water. It's cool to the touch. And nothing dangerous happens to you. You find your foot hits the ground, and as you continue to sort of like...
No. I'm not walking in it. I'm just putting my hand in and I'm taking it out.
Is it? I was asking before because I need to know if this is still water or this is moving water.
It's pretty much still, but like still to the point where like if you sat there and watched it, you could see that the water is moving from one side to the other.
Okay.
They
To
brought
answer to your question,
initiates here, I think, for the
It's
paladins
almost
of
free to
mercy.
destroy water.
Now, I can only guess that from these burn marks and leftover Zorethian wood that these stories have a connection to whatever horrible deeds could have been done either to the paladins or against them.
I don't know yet. I know that the role of a judge is a complicated one, and mistakes are poor judgment on the judge's part are met with consequences. I don't know what part of the first judge's life we are about to stumble on.
Do you think the first judge was a paladin of her mercy?
Or knew someone within.
Connected somehow.
Or maybe they're the ones that did all of this and judged them. We don't know.
Either brutal justice or a failing on the judge's part.
Consequence.
I'm gonna start to. With that, I drift back towards the water, and I'm going to, as I'm looking at the water, I'm going to. That pit, that feeling in my stomach, Was that coming from? But did that feel like it was coming from the silvery platform and island of the lectern, or is that more just a general feeling over there?
It was coinciding with the activation of that thing. The minute you came near to the water, it had some sort of sense that you were approaching, or not necessarily you, but maybe the flail.
Ah, can I look at the flail then?
Nixel would be taking all this in, and he'd kind of look at Auragar and like flick his gun, kind of go on.
What?
Go.
Nixel, as our resident flyer, don't you think you should maybe go over the water and check it out?
Not before me. If anything happens,
Not
I
in
will
the
take the brunt.
slightest. No.
Whatever happens, I will take the brunt. This is my... I wanted us to go on this expedition.
We're all here to help you if you need it.
And I start to calmly, slowly, cautiously start to walk towards where the top of the lectern is.
Okay.
Oh, how deep is the water again? Sorry.
It's...
So I was going to explain that.
Yeah.
Once I find out, make sure everyone's good with the actions going on.
If you're good with it, I'll be right behind you.
It's only fair. This place matters to you too, it seems.
Wouldn't want you blown backward or anything.
Well,
Just so you know, still water is the breeding ground for disease.
I roll my eyes.
Just so you're aware.
Least of my concerns right
Cast
now.
Then it's a-
purify water.
It's a good
It's
thing.
it's too big for that. I thought of it.
It's a good thing we have a cleric with us.
Precisely.
All right. And then
I
Nixel
know,
would
thanks.
fly above the water, above everyone as they make their
Yeah.
line.
and I'm leading, but I'm
Just a step
yeah.
behind.
So is everyone following?
No.
Or is...
At least I'm not.
I
How far is
will.
it?
I'm gonna let them like get about halfway there, and if nothing happens, then I'll follow.
Right, yeah, cautious.
It's like
Yeah.
30 feet away from us at this point, I think,
Okay.
as we're moving.
Oh,
Flying
then
above
I
him.
would probably just keep an eye.
Yeah.
About.
I can
So.
shoot an arrow if I need to.
Cedric is up short, close to the edge to see what's going on, but he's not getting in the water.
All right. So you two start heading out into the water. After you get about 5 feet in, there's a drop off. So
Can you
you'll
swim?
make an athletics check, but you can swim.
Oh my
You
god.
got all that heavy armor.
It is. I must warn you, it's getting deep.
It's not hard.
Getting deep in here.
Take
what
what am
the
I
heavy
rolling?
armor
What am I
is.
rolling? Athletics?
Athletics.
That's good.
Muscling his
All
Listen,
right.
boy. It's nice to not wear armor.
22.
22. Easy enough.
You're well rested.
Yeah. You're ready to take on whatever this is. You feel supercharged by being in such a sacred place.
Activate
Um,
Daddy Zarzar.
You start swimming across behind Auragar. As you get to the edge, and as he sort of like is getting closer, I'm assuming you start to sort of like meander your way. You can swim as actually you're in badger form, so you can't swim.
That's dumb. If I'm being honest with you. Huge. Yeah, never mind. As soon as I feel the drop off, it's not worth it. It turns around. Yeah.
All right.
I'll drop the form too at this point.
Were you flying across?
I was flying over them, yeah.
All right. So you guys are gonna end up in kind of like a mixture of like dark and like that dim light coming from the top.
Okay.
As the light sort of moves to you, over to you, where you guys are. It was already illuminated from the silvery glow. As you sort of pull yourself up onto the land, Auragar, the edge, there's like a couple of inches in between where you can like pull yourself up into without actually going past the thing. And as you get closer to it, you can see on this kind of like, it's toppled sideways. It's kind of like sitting unevenly, like it's busted on one side of the lectern. You can see what looks to be an open kind of like brittle book. And next to it, there's a small like cup, like a crude clay cup, with a like just what looks to be like a feather or like a quill sitting in it. As you get closer, you can also see on the ground next to these two kind of like tombs that are sitting. It's kind of like that one of those like raised hump tombs. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm.
Where they kind of like, they weren't actually put into the ground, they were laid on it and someone put stuff over top of them.
Oh, got it. Where you just have the bump. Yeah.
It's like that. And next to it, smashed into the ground, is just a battered up piece of like rusted armor. And on part of it, you can see that it has like the crest that's on his armor.
To be some kind of armor here. I think it was one of yours. Well, one of your paladins. Maybe this was a home for a paladin.
I'm sure once it was a home for many paladins.
Is this like the end of? Can I not go around like the? I'm trying to kind of visualize.
Behind it is just more like cavern wall space, and then kind of just like it's just another dead end on the other side.
Got you. I'm just wondering how much space I have from the water to like the next part of the wall, in between. Like what is this area
on
that
the
we're
other
in?
side from where the group is?
Yes. Yeah.
There's only like 10 or so feet. It's just more water behind it. It's kind of like this random piece of land that's like 10 foot in a circle.
Oh, it really is like an island that's just above the water level at this point. Okay.
And the piece of armor and the graves are physically there, or was that an image inside that?
It looks
glass?
real to you. As you get closer, I don't want to take anyone's liberty or player agency, but basically if you were to like sort of like put your hand towards where that liquid is, you could feel a denseness to it. There is substance. It's not a mirage.
In that case, I look at you and look back at it and I go, hopefully this is a smart move. And I gingerly reach over to kind of see if the water has any kind of tangibility. Yeah. Or not water, but the silver.
As you do that, you know those shoes that have the coating on it that's just like lets water run off of it?
Water wicking shoes.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's like. Very dense, almost silverly, like shiny glass that just starts to like drip off of your hands.
But it's not like gallium. It looks more glass-like.
Yeah.
Can I do?
But it breaks the
surface.
the mold of it.
Oh, okay.
So like as you do that, it goes through to the other side.
Have I seen anything like this before? I'm guessing not, because this sounds completely alien. Do I know of any kind of... Have I seen any kind of arcane information regarding like a liquid like this or whatever this is?
You can give me an Arcana check, but I'll tell you the DC is like a DC 30.
Nixel would also.
Yeah, okay. That sounds honestly about right.
Would you roll on that one?
Oh yeah. I'm back, baby.
Same for you, DC 30.
Bummer, not quite.
Can I give you guidance?
Are we so far away?
You should be casting
Yeah,
guidance
I am
every
too.
times,
Yeah.
every few seconds.
You just-
Someone's gonna need
He
it.
was
Someone's
so
gonna need
close. I
it.
was like, might as well just give him guidance. But
What you got?
30.
What you got?
Can I burn my inspiration?
Yeah. That's a D10.
Just 10, right?
Oh, that's good. That means you can. Yeah.
31.
Oh, that's close.
baby.
Yes.
As you're circling around trying to figure out this arcane mystery, you think back to some of the times that you had some lessons with Master Gearspark. And there was a particular liquid that was beneficial in removing lavrosite. And this is that same liquid. However, this one is suspended in the air. It's obviously got some sort of magical incantation that is keeping it there. And thirdly, the question that can't be answered from this knowledge is, but you know that has some sort of correlation to it, is why did it activate when Auragar came towards the water? Auragar.
If he's not already like out of the water, I help him get out of the water in general, and I say to him, "You need to give me a minute. I need to speak with Lendis. This might be the moment to do so."
Take your time. Just be careful.
I think the graves are probably fine to see what those are about, but this, and I point to the silver liquid, this I need to ask him. And I'm going to, thanks, good time, Tabula. I'm going to burn a charge to speak with Lendis, or speak with the flail.
While he does that, I'll take a peek at the graves and see.
So you step through?
No. If it's in the liquid,
Mm-hmm.
no. Never mind.
Oh.
They are within the
Okay.
the liquid that's circling.
Yeah, no.
Actually,
all of that stuff.
In that case, hold
Oh.
off on the charge
I
just
won't
yet.
go in there.
I misunderstood. I didn't realize it was like almost like a
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they are within the circling liquid.
I'd like to
Got it.
follow up my arc.
can I make my way over then as well?
Yeah. Are you changing out of badger form?
Yeah, I'll drop it and I'll just swim over.
Okay.
In that case, well, one can say I've never been too cautious, and I'm going to start to slowly step through the circle into the center.
Cool. As you step through the denseness of this, just you feel it as like the hardest rain you've ever been out in the wilderness is just pelting down on you, but it all slides off and hits the ground as you step through, and you can see Auragar on the other side at this point. As you step through, where do you go to first?
Okay, so remind me, inside the circle of silver liquid,
Rusty armor, the two graves, the lectern with the tome.
I'm going to kneel down and take a look at the armor. I'm not going to touch it, just going to inspect it.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
15.
15.
Seeing him in there, I would like to step in as well.
Sure.
Nice catch.
shortly afterward.
Investigating the rusty armor, this thing's been here a long time. It hasn't been moved. And with a 15, you can tell by the markings on where it is been bashed in. It's the same markings that if you were to take your flail out and put it, it's a pinprick.
Oh.
You're going where?
I'm gonna step in and also kind of go toward that side where he's investigating and
So you see him, I'm gonna say with a 15, you physically see him realize this conundrum and measure up kind of like the flail and like size up like this fits here.
judgment.
Gax was right.
Just into distance.
I still haven't determined if this was rash judgment or fair. I'm not gonna make the same mistakes. Or at least I'm not intending to.
That's good to hear. And I'll go over and take a look at the graves.
Okay, there are two. One is smaller than the other.
Oh no.
Not super small, but smaller. As you head over to the graves, you can see in kind of like a sandstone slab that's just plopped in the middle of them. You see two things. One says, "Here lies Umbra Durash." And the other one says, Filigarax Durosh. Give me an investigation check since you're heading over there. Which one are you looking at, Umbra or Filgarax?
Umbra. Investigation.
Yep.
12.
So first thing, Umbra, you know it to be a female name. Filgarax is a male name. As you're looking around, it's pretty standard covered tomb, but as you sort of like move to one side, you can see that underneath the stone, there's been some sort of like marking. And as you kind of investigate it, you put your finger in there and you feel something pull out, and it's like a rolled up scroll of papyrus.
And I'll just happen to. Oh, sorry.
As you sort of pull this out and you start to unroll it a little bit, you can say, you can see it says, "Forgive me, my love, and may Tamara forgive me for what I am about to do."
This was on whose? Umbra?
Umbra, yeah.
Kind of roll it back up and stash it.
I'm gonna inspect the lectern.
Okay. As you go over to the lectern, you can see the page is open. The pages are brittle, but they're intact. The ink that's on them is deep crimson, and it has names. 5 names to be exact. And obviously you have that cup there with a quill.
Mm-hmm.
The names that are on it, and and they're from top down. Jaximar Durash.
Oh no.
I'll send you all this later as well.
Okay.
Kronzatek Solciar.
Gave up on writing them.
Kimith Fixora. The fourth name on the list is Gosk Urat. And the fifth is Fwankesh Drokar.
Hold on, I'm writing down the two that come to mind. What was it? Grox? Urat?
Gosk.
Gosk, that's right.
You would know this to be Gax's father,
So
who died in the plague.
how ancient can this be?
Ronkish.
Nobody knows.
There's two names I recognize on this. 5 in total, but Gax.
I'm not in there.
Oh yeah.
I'm just.
Can you not hear outside of that
mean,
liquid? Like
I
what
don't know
they're
how loud the
saying?
liquid
or?
is, so
It is, yeah, it is completely silent on the
so we
other
can't,
side.
like,
You see him starting to like mouth things, and you can't hear as you're starting to swim
can't hear me.
across.
Interesting.
Ora. Gasgorod is his father. I gestured at Gax.
His name's on the list.
And an individual named Vorncash, which I don't know of that, but I've spoken that at one point.
There's nothing else other than names.
These pages look brittle, I'm afraid to... I don't want to mishandle the book.
Makes sense.
Yeah, do the pages look like they are turnable, or does it look like if I touch it, it's going to just...
They're brittle, but it's made of like papyrus, so it lasts a long time.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of like just that typical dusty tone crunch as you sort of like flip one of those pages.
Yeah.
You sort of like blow the dust off of it.
And you said the ink was in red, or for
Yes.
this?
It was crimson.
Crimson. Okay.
I need you to make also a memory check intelligence.
It's 19.
You think back to, I think it was 2 days earlier when you spoke to the flail before, and you remember it telling you that you were the first lizard folk to wield the weapon.
That's strange. If Borat's name is here, Lendis has told me that I am the first lizard folk, but what is this book for? And can I look on the cover to see if this book has a title?
Record of Judges.
You can see I'm actually you see my expression kind of shift from interest to a strong scowl.
What's
Something.
wrong?
This doesn't add up. This is a record of judges. This isn't the Disperch's name, but why did it tell me I was the first? Yeah, you see him just kind of fume for a little bit before he turns to you.
To be cautious. We may need to be more cautious. If this is a record of judges, someone's lying to you. Especially if there is a lizard folk name in there.
I'd say at this point, Gax, you've made your way over to the edge. Yeah.
Pull my way up and hop in.
As Gax gets there, he sees Nixel casting Detect Magic. He pulls out a compass and holds it up to like the silvery barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And he's watching as hopefully arcane sigils are popping up, defining like what kind of magic this is that's suspending it in the air.
Yep. You get smashed with a large amount of divination and abjuration magic.
Probably high level, right?
Yes.
We can't hear you outside of this.
I don't respond. In fact, you notice I'm intensely looking at you.
What?
There's some information he was missing.
Okay.
Your father never told you how he created Breakthrough, correct?
No, he did.
And I pull out my father's own journal book, and I flip to the page with Breakthrough on it, and it like just details everything about it.
Well, at least this is what I found out about it from, his own notes.
Thinking back, how was I introduced to the Urat family?
I'd say based on your nature, you were placed there after you'd been moved multiple times by peace druids. You never quite fit in.
Yeah.
And this was the first place that you found a friend who would actually try and help you be a bit more social.
But did I know his
Hell
father
yeah.
all that well?
Did you know his father?
Yeah, was there any kind of
His
connection?
father, as far as you know, was generous, respectful. He fit well in Veshan culture. He seemed very respectable. He was not a peace druid, and he would take people's words not words, sorry. I think you'd probably remember him asking Gax if he would like to be put up for being part of the peace druids. Gax was like, no, I don't want to do that. He was like totally fine with it. That's the nature of Gosk.
Yeah.
Good dad, man. Good dad.
We'll say it.
We're like, we can't hear none of that.
Welcome to the daddy issues club.
That's
I don't have that, man.
T-shirt.
no, yeah.
Don't have
Daddy
that.
issues.
You see me hold the book. This record of judges. Gask is in it.
You would see a very genuinely confused face right now.
You don't know about this.
I don't know what to say, man.
time to speak with whoever you need to speak with.
Whoever's right.
But do
Well-
you mind if I look at the part that he's in?
I open to the. I sift through till I find that page, and I show you the book.
You can see there clearly written in his handwriting.
Okay.
Oh.
Are all the names written in his handwriting? No.
They each have their own their own calligraphy.
Do any of the names jump out to me?
As in recognizing them?
Yeah.
Other than Gosk?
Yeah.
Give me a history check. It's gonna be a DC 25.
Would I have recognized any of them?
Guidance as
Uh,
well.
You can also roll
Yeah,
DC
no.
25.
On intelligence?
History.
Oh, history. Where is that? 7.
Would you roll?
I think a 15 or something like that, plus with guidance or whatever.
Okay. For both of you,
9 plus 2 plus.
out of the list of names, with those rolls, you would both know the name Kronzatek, the second one on the list. Kronzatek Zolciar. They were a black male dragonborn, and they were known as the champion of the Bloodscales, which was a reclusive group of fighters that live in the Talon Mountains.
Do we know, like, throughout history, like, how long ago this character was? As in, like, is this guy still alive today?
This
or...
guy would be long gone.
Yeah.
I go to the beginning of the list of this catalog of judges.
Jaxamar, the first guy. Jarash.
It is just those 5?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Jaxamar.
And who was the one that came after Josh?
Fwankesh, Drokar.
Okay.
If
Car
you,
sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does.
if you are going to speak,
Obviously, you know Fwankesh.
Yes.
with whoever you're gonna speak to, just be cautious. It seems like maybe there's
an angle.
perhaps.
Trust me, I can't say I'm enjoying being misled.
And I finally activate the charge.
Okay. What is it?
It seems you've misinformed me.
Is the first thing I say telepathically.
About what, novitiate?
It seems I am not the first lizard folk to have joined, or to be a judge.
Are you questioning a god?
I'm questioning why you've left out this detail. Not your power.
Why don't you sign your name, and I'll show you.
Why do I recognize a lizard folk on here?
He was no lizard folk.
at that point.
Came from
Oh,
a time
sorry.
long before yours.
And I will know more of this when I sign.
Not particularly of him. I have brought you here to witness the beginning, the story of the first judge, not the fourth.
Okay, and it, or at least I cut off my connection. I'm like,
You okay?
He hangs up. Done. Hang up.
Snap the flip phone.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I'm done.
I don't take being dismissed lightly. But I think there's some reason for this. I open the book, put it back on the lectern. You said it was crimson,
Crimson.
and there's no ink.
Mm-hmm.
I take the pen. I slash a piece of my arm, or a part of my arm.
Mm-hmm.
Let the blood drip into the tip.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even paying attention. Gax is still like in his own little world, walking back and forth, trying to figure this shit out
Hopefully,
himself.
I won't need you to pull me out of this, but
I'll be right here.
sign my name.
As you sign your name, it stops, hovers for a second, and the light goes out, including yours. Pitch black. The light from the entry point that you guys had made seals up instantly. You guys are in pitch black. The only one who can see in here would be you.
I was like, can I see anything? What's happening?
Immediate hand on Ari's shoulder.
Yeah, you won't glad to have me.
As this happens, Gax, not Gax, Auragar. You gasp and you feel like the wind that's just knocked out of you. As your vision blurs and the only light now in the place is coursing through Auragar's entire body, like veins all through him, this silvery light as it through your eyes as well. They can't see it, they just see the light. In your head, you see a war-torn battlefield with hundreds of dead Dragonborn that are just littered. And among them, there's a few immortals and a lot of large gray dragons with manta ray-like wings. You see a brown Dragonborn wearing gleaming armor with the symbol of Tamara on it and wielding Verdict. He's got a primordial rune on the side of his neck. On the opposite end of him, you also see this massive, gigantic, gargantuan obsidian dragon with a reddish hue that glows like a mirror in the firelight. You can see the Dragonborn looks heavily concerned and severely irritated with this dragon and says, "Gorathak, there has to be another way. It can't be true." You see the dragon responds, "I have my purpose, Jacksonar, and you have yours, regardless if they are family or not. You burden yourself with circumstances out of your control. But I will not allow this contamination to continue. I must end it now. I am to be a demigod, Let go of your feelings for your family, and I will see to it you're welcome past the primordial gates, regardless of your mortal form. You're watching from Jacksamar's eyes at this point, and he responds with his stern resolve about him. I'm not going to stand by and let them become the evil we are sworn to destroy. There has to be another way. Gorthak responds again, and he says, after everything we've succeeded in, you would still pick them over me? Weak. I should be the one in possession of that weapon. We are out of time. Gorthak snorts and sort of flies off as Jacksamar grabs like a lone armored horse from a battlefield and rides off after him. I need you to take 5 points of psychic damage that's not doubled.
Oh, okay.
As this happens, your headaches drop you to your knees in this darkness. You start to see blurry. As Jacksamar's riding, you can feel the confliction in him, the resentment, the want to forgive, but as he crests the hill, this fire bounces off the mirrors of his eyes as a deep sadness, grief, and hurt of betrayal takes over him. As he sees not just his home in ruins and burning, but his entire village. Gorthak nowhere to be found. As he rides up as close as he can and dismounts, he walks into the fire completely unsinged, and finds his wife and his 16-year-old son in the rubble, their clothes just torn and mangled as if something evil had taken over their body. That's another 3 points of psychic damage. As you're rendered into so much pain and weakness that you find yourself blurring out and flashing on the ground, your face hits the hard sandstone floor as you're like sort of struggling for air. As he kneels down, he goes back into the vision. You find your composure again. He slumps over in desperation near the corpses, the flames still licking over his body but not burning him. He yells out in heartache and anguish, and you can see him breathing heavily and feel it. The pain drives spikes of anguish through his entire body. As Jacksamar stands up, he cries out to Tamara. You see him, how is this mercy? As he begins to sort of doff his armor, he slowly pulls off the gauntlets, takes off the chest piece, takes his family out of the fire, lays them onto the ground, puts the armor on the ground, looks at the flail, winds it up, smashes straight into the armor, leaving this massive dent. In a final shout, he tears his clothes to shreds, and staring with vengeance in his fiery eyes, grips verdict and just snarls up at the sky. As you finally gain your composure again, you're smashed with another spike of pain. It's going to be 10 points of psychic damage.
And I'm still on. I get down on my knees and I'm just cradling my head in pain.
Are you above or below half health?
He looks bad.
He looks bad. Alright.
Immediately, Zarzaros is gonna go to his knees and put his hands on your shoulders and
With that, the light also comes back on your thing, sorry.
send some magical healing into you.
As the lights come back
That's good
on,
enough,
you
yeah.
see Auragar face first in the floor, basically, groaning in pain. And no wounds or gashes about him.
Is the silver liquid like returned?
The silvery liquid, encompasses once again. Yeah.
Were we in Ares Arc? Can we see him collapse?
Walk over to you.
All of that happened in the dark.
Put my
So
hand
you
on
would
the
only
other side.
hear it, but he was within the silvery thing, so there's no sound.
So when the lights come back on, we just see him on his knees clutching his head.
On his
front. On his
He's
front.
not on
Yeah,
his
I'm
knees.
full prone.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Sorry.
For the remainder, how much do you need?
It's. Don't worry about it. It's,
Oh no, it's not even a spell.
okay. It's I need like less than 10. So.
All right. Gax pulls out like just a bundle what looks like grass to you and just shoves it down your throat, pretty much. So however much you need, as long as you're above half, you're
magical
gonna be at full.
feeling.
Sorry, say it again.
However much. So it's just one hit point for each like piece of grass. So however much you need, he just shoves down your throat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Shut up.
What, I think it was like 8 or something like that, right?
yeah, something like that.
Let me help you.
You got this nice magical energy, and then just.
I had 20 on me, so
Choking on
losing 8
While that's
seconds.
happening, Nixel takes a vial out of his pocket and he's going to try and see if he can bottle any of this silvery liquid up.
Give me an Arcana check with advantage, since you rolled a 31.
Can I jump up and like slap his foot or something? Just be like, guidance! I see you over there.
I see you trying something.
That is a math I can't do in my head. 19.
19. You find you've done this before. It's the weightiness of it. It's a density thing. So like you have to get the right angle to kind of like put the vial up so it falls in properly. It's not just one of those like put it in there because otherwise it would just go out the side. It's too dense for that. And you get yourself a vial of this mystery liquid.
Customize.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Those visions are a lot to take in.
It seems like it.
It can be a headache. That armor wasn't. A judge didn't slay that armor. Well, the wearer slayed. The wearer.
The headache is still.
I'm sorry. The wearer of that armor destroyed his own set.
Why would he do that?
Because he renounced Tamara. He became a judge.
See him
deemed
just
that-
kind of straighten.
He deemed that mercy wasn't enough. His family was slain by a dragon named Gorathok. I have not heard of this dragon. This is ancient times, I'm sure. But Jaxmar was a paladin of Tamara at one point. And I'm guessing this temple was raised by Gorathok. And some kind of disagreement with the path he was on.
I guess of sense then.
I don't know what tomorrow's hand in this is, but I'm guessing they probably don't admire this part of their past. Whether that's their guilt or some other reason.
They may just be renouncing a man who renounced Tamara. Distancing themselves from him.
You said the name Jaxamar to him?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have mentioned it. That armor belonged to Jaxamar.
I was just asking.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if I did.
You did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Give me a... Actually, you already did the check on the place. You hearing the name Jaxamar reminds you of one of those, like, small, we don't talk about this stories.
Another one.
It's a lot y'all don't talk about.
And the location that's
This face
mentioned
is kind of...
is about a foundling city of initiates for the Paladins of Our Mercy called Jaxgareth.
Dun, dun, dun.
And this also reminds you that Jaxamar was Gorathok's rider.
The city was named Jack. Sarath.
Jaxamar, I think, yeah.
And
Jaxamar was an immortal.
Jaxamar Road.
Lost his faith because his dragon did
Gorathok.
Yeah.
And then became the first judge.
Damn, dude, if this is like the path that all judges kind of have to go down, you're fucked. Like,
And you said Gorathok, right?
I did say Gorathok, yeah.
Jaxamar was Gorathok's rider.
Immortals?
Well, it could have been more common during that time.
But why would Gorathok then betray Jaxamar?
He mentioned something about... power. I forgot the exact words, but...
Basically, the basis is that Gorathok saw Jaxamar as being weak because he cared for his family versus pursuing godhood.
Gorathok... He desired godhood.
the choice for him. Fuck. That's tough.
Jaxamar... Well, he cared for his family more than deification.
This is sounding like our conversation last night.
What?
Why the immortals won't help the common folk.
Lessons learned from the past.
Or not.
Well, it's not like the immortals are gods themselves. They're just powerful warriors that ride, the only things that are closer to God than gods.
Let's pause with you guys for a second. You two.
Just letting them have that moment. I don't know.
Cedric would have... Obviously, everything was in the distance, not hearing anything. Lights go out, hand on Aries' shoulder immediately. Lights come back, sees him prone.
And then
He-
immediately rush to their aid.
Yes, the moment he saw you prone, he probably would have, about to step in the water, and then he saw Ozazaros put his hands and knew what he was doing, because he's done it before so many times, and did it to Cedric, so he understood he was healing you. So he relaxed a bit. Because he does not want to get in the water.
And then you see Gax just shove his fist down his
Yes. So he goes from, oh my god, to relieved to, huh?
I know for a fact also that you would get kind of bored. So you were probably scoping around. What you eventually find over the course of this
just
time,
skips checks. And
Yeah,
just
he's
like, you know what? You're gonna find some shit.
you will need to roll an investigation check.
Trying to see if there's any money lying around.
Any bags of gold?
And they're already like.
Items, come on.
It's your priority straight.
Oh,
Oh, whoa.
It's cocked.
Is it?
that was not in my thing. That was not intended to happen. It's sitting on
That's
the
sick.
edge of my thing. It's
Do you have
not rolling.
inspiration?
That is people.
DC 10, you get some of it. DC 15, you get all of it.
That was not my roll. Where are you now, guys?
Re-roll then.
Welcome to my
It's
world.
not.
It's not in the thing.
It's not. I just it rolled and it kind of like hopped out of the tray and landed on the
It's
edge.
on the edge of the tray, which is crazy.
It's an 8.
An 8.
This is bullcrap.
You find none of it.
I'm literally walking around here pissed off that I'm not finding anything worth my time.
You find located like tucked in a corner somewhere, like a darkened corner, you just see the glint of like a silver ewer. It's one of those large jugs with like a wide mouth that's kind of like used to like bathe someone with water. So you find one of those. Alongside it, you kind of find like 47 silver pieces. And,
Make sure that Zara's not seeing me, because you know his holy place. But I'm like,
the other thing that you find is you find 4 stones with like that are black with that striated green to it.
like the stone that. No.
Exactly like the
Wait,
stone.
like the
from
stone he was
Draconian.
holding? Okay, I was like, it might be.
They're called malachite.
They were worth some gold.
Wait, this is like the stones from when we did the
Fought
the goop people, the goop,
Yeah.
the slime
The draconian.
that were there that nobody
Yeah,
picked
they're
up,
worth
Yeah.
10 gold each.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
But you find 4 of those.
Okay.
8 gold, 7 silver.
I don't see her do any of this.
I mean, you'd see her walking around.
You see me poking fraud.
Because you rolled low, you said you were frustrated.
Yeah.
Cedric sees the frustration and guy's like, I'm gonna give her space. I don't want any of
Around
that.
here.
Yeah.
Come all this way out in the freaking savannah, give me something.
I don't want to get involved in whatever's frustrating her.
Awesome. Yeah, back to you guys.
Did you ask about Gosk?
He wasn't very open to talk about the 4th judge. But he did confirm it with those words. But it's strange. He mentioned judges tend to, well, the flail tends to get passed on after, I guess.
A normal dragonborn's lifespan is like 80 years. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a human.
I mean, generally, the judges pass on the flail when they either die or they're punished for wrongful judgments. But Gask was neither of those, or he hid it very well. Bizarre.
Could I do my own history check or something like that to see if Gax himself remembers either seeing a moment when my father wasn't actually like a lizard folk but was a dragonborn, or if I remember seeing or hearing anything about a flail like this?
Of course.
Yeah. So I am gonna give myself inspiration.
Gax is going back in the deep recesses of his mind.
Yeah. When he was like a child. Whatever. That doesn't make you like it. 14, I think.
A 14?
Yeah.
Okay. You rolled with guidance too.
Yeah.
A 14.
At least I suck.
You try as hard as you can to think back about childhood memories before the plague happened. The first obvious thing that you think about is what you had already brought up earlier with the breakthroughs. You remember that this kind of was a special recipe of his, and that throughout your childhood, he would cook with this in it, right? The questions that are important from your history roll are: why would he cook with this ingredient? Because it wasn't necessarily.
Yeah.
And second, why then would have he passed?
Well, and my mother too.
Right.
I don't say any of this. I think you see Gax is just kind of, he goes back to that like nervous tick again where he's trying to figure something out, that something doesn't make sense, and he's just like biting down on his claws. Doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense.
Unless he was still a judge at the time. Well, I wonder if he renounced. There could be consequences to that. Yeah, there could be. The judge, after my father, what happened to them, if you know? Foreign cash? No, I'm afraid I don't know. I do remember that name. It came up when I first acquired the flail. But that's all. Yeah. I don't know how or why. What I remember back, I don't know, it's strange. He made breakthrough before the plague came. Years before the plague came. Now, I don't know if he anticipated the curse that was coming, or the plague, or if the flail or his judge powers told him what was going to happen. But it leaves me one question. If I wasn't infected, they weren't infected, then where are they? Both of my parents. Because from my earliest memory of him, he was using it as a cooking ingredient. Just adding it into things that we ate. needs.
Using what? Oh,
Breakthrough, yeah.
I have thoughts, but they're unfounded.
I do too, but we need more information. And sadly, I don't think your flail will tell us.
My guess is he did something that would make Lindis unhappy.
I have a feeling you could do a lot of things that will make Lindis unhappy.
At this point, I will step out of the. I'm guessing. I placed the. I made sure to place the book back on the lectern.
The only thing that wasn't investigated in that area was the other tomb. That was it.
I'm gonna investigate that then. So.
Where is it? Sorry, looking for it. Oh, right. So as you're looking at this one, you can see again it's got Filgarax Darash on it, and seeing what he did, you kind of look under the same area, and you find this small pouch at what you assume to be his son's grave. It's got small trinkets that have just been kind of like left behind. In it, you can hear it kind of like jangling, and as you open it up, there's an emblem of Tamara and what looks to be a dragon's tooth. Not very big, more along the lines of like
Vethok?
a dragon's tooth before they were like a fully grown adult.
Vethok. No, I'm kidding.
Along, like, kind of like the along lines of like a guard Draco or something.
Okay. Maybe like a tooth of a pet or something?
Right.
Okay.
Well, he's...
I'm gonna put them back in the pouch. I'm not taking that, obviously. It would be mean-spirited to take freaking...
While you're looking at that, can I go back to the book and can I search the book for anything else that was written in my father's handwriting?
Yeah. As you're sort of flipping through the pages, it's
Just his
pretty
name.
blank.
Yeah.
It's just these 5 names. It's this massive tome, but it's just the 5 names.
Okay.
Well, 6 now. As it now holds Auragar Scalamesh in it.
What does Auragar's handwriting look like?
Chicken scrimmage.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Chicken.
Just like a little.
It would be really funny if it was actually
Like
quite
beautiful?
quite flowing. Yeah.
Exactly.
It was.
I'm
Oh, you know
proficient
what?
in calligraphy.
You know what? I'll say it looks like it would have been quite good, but it seems like it has over the time like he's gone out of practice.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You said the armor was... It's not positioned anywhere specifically, it's just kind of on the side of one of the graves.
You can give me an investigation check.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Oh,
Not one.
Oh.
Nat 1.
Yeah.
Total
Crazy.
2.
But now one, Bob.
As you head over to this armor,
Oh,
It's gonna bust his other knee.
You step on it. You step on it by accident.
I think you're so dumbfounded by all the crap that's going on here. Your heart's racing at 100 miles a minute. You miss a stone, fall on the ground, bust your kneecap. Your hand pushes onto the armor.
wanted to do.
As it moves, you hear a tick. as a rope flies out from underneath it, as along the sides of the walls, you now see this kind of obsidian strip that wasn't there before. And in the center of it, there's like a line of like purple, and it goes through the sides all the way to either end of it. You also, as this happens, hear the same scream that Jacksamar did in your vision, and then a low from the bellows of the earth.
Oh my god.
Just literally one roll of D&D.
Oh no.
We're in the dungeon now. We're gonna get the dragon.
Yeah. So, hearing that, Gax instantly starts running. Jumps into the water, starts like dash swimming 30 feet, 60 feet, boom, like holding onto the rope. Let's get the fuck out.
100% the roof starts to like sort of like cave in as you guys are sort of like see this happening. You look around, you're just like start to fucking sprint.
Yeah.
I go to pick him up and we should go.
I take the scroll out and I shove it back underneath that grave, and then I go.
Cool. As you're sort of doing that, busting a move to get out, you guys are the closest. You actually see the top of it, like the hole, start to fall in on itself, and you have to like dodge out of the way a little bit as it starts to like.
The hole that we came in from.
Right. As everything around you goes mostly black, but you've got the light from his pistol, and you've got this like kind of like purplish, almost ultraviolet light now coming from the like obsidian purplish strip at the top.
I'm getting as close.
As that happens, you guys see this form kind of come out of the like top of the roof.
Oh god.
This kind of like grayish red material goop, like kind of like a slime ooze, as it in front of you guys, and it looks like it's amorphous, but it looks like it's trying to form itself into a dragon.
Can
it's the
Cedric
same
not
stuff.
give it the chance to do that and immediately goes to swing a sword?
100%, and that's where we'll end tonight's session as we roll initiative.
We're rolling now or
That is the
uh,
most
no.
unfortunate natural
so
one.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Hey, it's part of the game, man.
Yeah.
I wanted
Also,
so
my flail technically can
something
illuminate sometimes
cute
when I'm
with
like
the
channeling.
armor.
Yes, it can,
Yeah.
especially when you
Not
Backfired,
use it to
yeah.
attack.
It's so funny because like
Stop being
I see it as
cute.
like a noble dragonborn paladin, right? Like you stand tall and you stand proud of yourself. You're just
It's quite clumsy.
Thank you, everyone, for coming along with us as usual. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.